waste your breath. Shit!
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer! A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Komodo really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. Our primary goal for Arena Breakout is to deliver a highly immersive tactical shooter experience to hardcore fans of first-person shooter games. That is why one key principle for us has been the realistic depiction of the battlefield. Doesn't the sky in Arena Breakout look fantastic? This is because our engineers have used the volumetric cloud technology that reproduces the visual effects of light passing through the cloud. Apart from volumetric clouds, we've also tapped into several other graphic techniques, like the environment light mixture, to make the game even more realistic. You can be at the farm with the sun right overhead at noon, or watch the sunset at dusk in a shady spot in the forest. There's also the question of sound. In Arena Breakout, you must use sounds to determine the enemy's position and gain the upper hand, to create a more immersive experience. We've developed an audio visualization system that displays the location of sound relative to your position. When you are playing, a bigger audio pole and clear lines means the source of the sound is close to you. However, not all sounds can be detected by the system. Some sounds, including doors being opened by the enemy, looting a container, or opening a safe, won't be detected by this system. We want audio visualization to benefit mobile players and provide a comparable experience to what you will find in console and PC games, without sacrificing the importance of developing listening skills in the game. Weapons are another critical aspect of any shooter game. Each and every firearm in Arena Breakout has been designed to be true to life in terms of how they look, how they fire, and the modes available to them. You can mix and match over 700 weapon modes and apply your choices to more than 10 weapon slots to forge the weapon that works best for you. The combinations are nearly limitless. We all know that realistic gunfeel matters greatly to tactical FPS players. This is why we've spent a lot of time figuring out the best ways to replicate how a firearm feels. Take weapon recoil, for instance. We broke it down into its components, such as shake, the lifting of the muzzle, the backward movement, and work on this one by one in order to deliver a truly realistic recoil experience.
Wanna guess what's coming?
In Arena Breakout, the battlefield is full of variables and unknowns. This is a game that rewards taking risks. Win, you take everything. Lose, and you start from square one. This is a game of tactics and strategy. First of all, even before you enter a match, you can shape your combat capabilities based on your preferences. Are you heading into the dark zone with all guns blazing? Or are you going to be the madman attempting to pull this off with nothing but a knife? Your choice of strategy will also determine the kind of game experience you have. You are free to make your own decisions based on the information you get. What kind of choices will you make under pressure? We've also taken great pains to make great maps. I will use the Fabula, a map most players should be familiar with, for an example. This is the first map we created for Arena Breakout to create a map that is full of interesting tactical space. We first laid out different zones in terms of value. We placed points of interest across the map to vary expected gains, risk, and travel time. These POIs also interact with each other to form the distinctive landscape of the farmland. A map like this makes for a highly dynamic and immersive experience as players engage in both a battle of skills and strategies. A battle that requires them to contend with changes that occur in the field, and the emergent interactions between players with different skills and gear. I want to let you all know pre-registration for the game starts now worldwide, and we hope to officially launch in very near future. It's time to shoot and loot.
Arena Breakout is like literally the first proper true next-gen mobile first-person shooter.
Just overall, there's a lot of customability and just uniqueness that, like I said, we haven't seen in other types of shooters before.
What I like most about Arena Breakout is the healing system, how you're able to use painkillers, surgical kits, and adrenalines to treat yourself.
I'm an ex-military soldier, so being in that mindset again feels absolutely amazing.
It actually speaks a lot for how polished Arena Breakout is, because I don't play a lot of mobile games and stuff like that, and the fact that I was able to dive into this one of these, it was so comfortable.
And so just take that time to learn it all and just be patient with it, because you're not going to pick it up immediately, but once you do, it's going to be a blast.
Just go and play the game. You will die a lot, but that's how you learn things.
Take it a little bit slower than you would the other games, because like I said, it's high risk, high reward.
asshole got fucked up real bad. Hey, boss. Check this out.
Let me see that.
Body's so warm. They might be close.
Nice optics. Extraction port's 2 clicks ahead. Let's go, ladies.
Sniper!
Fuck is he?
Get down! Sniper, second floor.
Get that motherfucker.
Set! I'm out! Go, 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 go! Set! Fuck!
Oh shit, that was close.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. I'm the producer of Arena Breakout here at MoFan Studios. I started out in the industry back in 2004, working on console games like Killzone Shadowfall and Ghost Recon. For those who don't know, Arena Breakout is a first-person tactical shooter game. It's been 3 years in the making, and our goal is to develop a next-gen FPS game for mobile. In Arena Breakout, the objective is not to be the last one standing. Instead, shoot and loot is at the heart of this game. You grab your loot, then make your way out via the extraction points on the map. That's how you win the game. The dynamic and the immersive experience in Arena Breakout comes from the changes that occur on the battlefield, and the organic interactions between players of differing skill and equipment levels. This is what makes Arena Breakout a unique experience. In July of this year, we launched globally and welcomed millions of players to experience Arena Breakout. Now, I would like to announce that we are going to have our latest season update in October. Join us in Season 2 of Arena Breakout. We will release a brand new map, the Port, where players can explore the Guayapo Space City, once the largest naval base in Carmona. This is where players will find action-packed urban warfare in the streets. We will also bring you a host of new firearms, including assault rifles, shotgun, and a revolver. I know this is exciting for all the gunsmiths out there. Last but not least, the anticipated Storm Warning mode is about to debut. Take on other players and fight Ajax and Plero in foggy weather. Try equipping a tactical flashlight and enjoy a totally different gunfighting experience. Finally, I look forward to welcome all of you to the world of Arena Breakout, where a truly immersive and realistic battle experience awaits you. It's time to shoot and loot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Saturday with the Golden Lions Legion. Today we've got another 1v1 matchup with solo games. We're going to get into the rules. It's going to be the same setup as last weekend, and so we'll have the opportunity to see if these players can kind of learn from last week and exceed their previous performance there. So I'm Mod6 Gaming. You can find me on basically any of the social media platforms. I'm your caster today, and what we are here to do is continue our weekly series. And as you've seen, the rules kind of get adjusted over time to showcase different areas of the game and different skills from these creators. And I love this game. You know, I've got a bunch of military experience, and this game is the most tactically realistic and accurate, both from an equipment and a gameplay and strategy perspective. The most accurate game in my experience, so I'm having a great time with it. And today we have our two creators, Dab Plays and SEMIVAN, are going head to head, and both of these guys have crazy experience in this game. You see SEMIVAN on the Arena Breakout main channel with the live streams and the videos going through all of the tips and tricks and different tactics in the game. Both of these guys have generated crazy hundreds of millions in loot. And I was talking to Dab Plays earlier, and he's got over 560 hours in this game. So one of the highest numbers we've heard, with almost 1,000 games in season 1. So we've got deeply experienced players today in the game. We're going to be able to hop in and talk to them here in a second, but the rules for today are 30 minutes per round, right? So we have 3 rounds, 30 minutes per round. The first round is on farm, the next is on valley, and these are the normal game modes. So it starts out with far less pressure from both the AI and the other players and teams that are in those games, in those maps, but more difficulty with loot, because those aren't the lockdown zone versions of the map. And then in our third map, we get into Armory. Armory always presents a challenge, and Armory solos even more so. And so this game is, you get exponentially higher extract opportunity in this game when you've got your teammates. And to have to cover all of the security while you're looting yourself, be hyper aware of getting third-partied in many situations in gunfights, solos is much more difficult in this game. And we saw that last week with plenty of deaths throughout the stream. And so round 1, 30 minutes on farm, round 2, 30 minutes on valley, and then round 3, 30 minutes on Armory. And they can iterate as many games on that map as they want in the 30-minute time limit, but they have to extract for their loot value to count, and loot value is what we're going for today. So maximum loot value is the objective. It only counts if the players successfully extract. So if they die with a golden lion in the secure container and still get it back to their storage, that does not count towards their loot on the scoreboard today. So, you know, we've got big fans of both SEMIVAN and Dab in the chat right now, and a lot of opinions being thrown around about who has the upper hand in this strategy. And SEMIVAN, I mean, he is an Armory player, right? He spends most of his time on that map, and so he's got lots of experience on that map. And I know Dab Plays has played all of these maps continuously on Lockdown Zone and on regular mode. And so the difference in, you know, map preference when they're playing or streaming might come into a factor here with experience on some of these maps. And so the mandatory extract in order for the loot to count, and even if they successfully extract, if it's past the 30-minute round timer, that will also not count towards the scoreboard. So it'll be the cumulative amount of loot from all 3 rounds that determines our winner today. And we're going to have a chance, like I said, to hop into an interview before the games with these guys, maybe hear what they're willing to give away as their strategy. And we have the same limitation as last week. On our first 2 maps, Farm and Valley, it is sniper and pistol only. All right, so that's the only limitation in gear and weapons today. On Armory, that limitation is removed, and there's no limit to the value in gear that these guys can bring in and wear into these games. So if they want to be running level 6 armor, top end ammunition, that level 6 helmet. They're perfectly allowed to do that today, which creates quite a mismatch on maps like Farm and Valley. Most of the teams on those maps aren't geared at that level, but on Armory, that's the standard fare. So less of an advantage, less of a mismatch as we get into some of the more difficult maps today. So, and I know Dab Plays has over 100 million on the bankroll right now. So I have a high expectation that he's going to be running some hot gear today. So, yeah, we will see if we can get them into an interview here, and we'll talk through some of the rest of the details of today as we go. So that's Dab and SEMIVAN. And we got him here now. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Mod 6?
SEMIVAN coming all the way to us from the Ukraine, and he's dressed in the tactical gear, ready to go. SEMIVAN, how do you feel about Farm and Valley? Because I know you have a ton of games on Armory. SEMIVAN, you there? All right, we'll get him in here. Dab,
what's up?
Where do you play most of your games? Is it Farm Valley? Is it Lockdown Zone? Are you doing reps on Armory?
No, everybody knows I'm the king of Northridge.
I don't know. I'll try my best. Try. Yeah.
So King of Northridge, Dab.
Yeah, that's what they call
why
me normally,
Northridge?
the king of Northridge. So the hotel, I love the fights at the hotel, so I normally just, wherever I spawn in, I rush straight there, and I don't know, I think it's where the best fights happen in the game. Obviously, Armory is pretty cracked because you have to fight the bots too that will one-tap you and players, but I don't know, just the multiple corridors in the hotel and all the different buildings make it for the best, I think.
Yeah, and we do have a little bit of a delay with SEMIVAN because of the distance and the call, so we'll try and work through that and get some answers out of him. See if we can get him in here. So SEMIVAN with sniper and pistol, is that a combination you normally run, or is it going to be a big change up for you today? We've got that delay, but we'll get him in here. I'll ask the same question to you, Dab, and if SEMIVAN hits the delay, we can hear what he has to say there. Sniper and pistol, normal, or is that a big change up for you?
That's actually a big change up for me. I didn't know about that till probably about 24 hours ago, so I probably should have been practicing that on my warm-up stream. I was just running my fully decked out H4 kit like the whole entire night, so I mean, when it comes to Armory, I'm ready to go, but yeah, I don't normally run sniper pistol combos, so I've done it a few times, but it's just not my go-to.
Yeah, that's a major change up, and we saw a lot of automatic and machine pistol choices last week because of that. So I expect we'll see quite a bit of the same. And do you have a bunch of experience on Armory, or is this something going into Armory on solo that's going to be pretty new today?
Yeah, out of my 600 hours, I probably about 150 or 200 hours of that is at least on Armory.
Nice. So we've got deep experience.
As long as I don't run into any VSS bots, I'll be okay.
Yeah, that's a threat and a problem every single time. So is there any strategy today? Is it going straight for the POIs, or are you going to be hunting other teams on the map?
Okay, so strat for farm, and hopefully SEMIVAN's not listening. Whichever spawn I get, I pretty much have all the keys, so I'm just going to run straight to whatever safe is right there ready to go, and hopefully I take out a team on each map. And then on Valley, I don't really want to go to the villa and die all the time, so I'm probably just gonna try to find teams. I'm not a big Valley player. I always die like 30 seconds into the match with a one tap to the face, so there's always a sniper in a bush waiting for you to walk past.
Yeah, absolutely. Valley's the land of campers in many cases, so we'll see how that goes today. We'll see if we can get one more answer out of SEMIVAN here and ask that same question. Is the tactic to go for the safes in those POIs, or are you going to try and wipe the other teams on the map, SEMIVAN? See if we've got him. This is an elaborate strategy from him to not give away any tactics. He's going to stay
Maybe he's
tight-lipped
doing it on
and surprise
purpose.
us, it sounds like.
Maybe this is a mind game. Maybe he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I think he's got us all frazzled as a result of that. So we'll see how that plays out today. And apologize for any issues with the link because we're so far apart geographically. But we're going to finish it up. Let these guys get ready for their first match, and we'll be hopping into farm here in just a couple of minutes. Dab and SEMIVAN, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mod 6. I won't disappoint you.
Dab's got a lot to live up to here. I've got a couple of games in with him as well, and I've seen SEMIVAN play on the stream so much at this point that I know we've got two of the absolute experts, some of the highest level gameplay in Arena Breakout right now. As you know, we've got that global launch that happened on July 14th. We're barely even 3 months into this game, if that, and so everyone has been pretty new to this game, but we've got players like Dab that have, you know, crazy numbers and time in this game and lots of reps. He's got thousands of TAC Ops player kills already. And so they know these maps. They're not going to have a major issue finding what they're looking for. And really what it is going to come down to is how they manage the gunfights if they do run into a larger team, right? If those deaths significantly set any player back, and they've got to be able to avoid that. So we're going to get into the game on farm as soon as both players are in and the 30-minute timer has started. And that 30-minute countdown timer is an additional clock they'll have to pay attention to while they're in these games, in addition to the in-game clock, because the extract is the only way you get that loot to count. And if you extract, even if you do successfully after the 30-minute timer's done for that round, the loot will not count as well. So yep, we're just bridging a little bit of time as these players have to get their loadouts together, and then we'll be into the game. So we've got our codes today. This is how you do the code redeem. You have to go into your game on Arena Breakout, the events button on the far right of the screen, and then go to that redemption center. We'll be bringing up codes on the screen throughout the stream today. There's usually here about 5 codes per instance, and we've got 3 chances for you to grab one of those codes throughout the stream today. Those are one-time use codes, and they will get you a bundle, some upgraded armor, ammo, weapons in game, so you can jump into the game on these maps like you'll see the creators playing today. So take your chance. You gotta be quick, because the first one to redeem the code gets that bundle, and these things are one-time use. So one person will get each code, and there's 15 bundles that we should have to give out on the stream today. So as these players get together, their loadouts, I expect some high-level armor and helmets, high-level ammo, but like we said, we've got sniper and pistol only today for the first 2 maps. And on farm, that gets a little bit dicey, and you see a lot of pistol usage because those fights are close. Those are your first 5 codes below me on the screen right now. Get into the game, try and get that code redeemed quickly. You gotta be fast, because it's one redemption per code, and get a chance to get that bundle. Maybe hop into Armory. And these players, they're playing in open lobbies today. These are on the global server. And so, you know, the RNG factor has always been part of the conversation in these events, because, you know, you never know if you're going to get what we call player bots, right? The people who run in with almost no gear whatsoever, sometimes just a knife, and try and do that 0 to hero and get something done, work their way up in gear value throughout the game. But when you face off against players like that in this format, there's no value in that kill. And so there's RNG factor and what the other players in these global lobbies choose to take into the game. And there's also always the loot RNG with those safes, because you could open that safe and get 2, 3, 5,000 coin item like RAM, or you could open that safe and get a golden lion. And we've seen it in these events before. In our triathlon event, we had a team extract from Valley in less than 3 minutes because they hit a key, picked up the safety cord, and got a golden lion. out of the safe, and we're on and off the map in less than 3 minutes with over $500,000 in loot value. So there's always that RNG factor, and it happens on all of these maps, but it's much more consistently high loot and much more consistently geared players once we get into Armory. So that's what we will see today, and really that, you know, these players have to balance that hope for highly competitive lobbies with geared teams, because that's going to reduce their chance for that successful extraction. So we're going to get into the game on farmland as soon as the timer starts, as soon as these players are on the map. And you got to remember that the players, their streams are delayed. There's always that kind of time syncing that we do here between the main stream, the timer for each round, and these players' ability to kind of get off the map on time. So we've had some, you know, seconds delayed here and there. So keep that in mind when we're watching the stream. If they're on the extraction with 35 seconds left to extract and that timer goes to 0 and you see them get credit for that amount, it's just because of that slight delay, because we've got creators all over the world and production team all over the world that come together to make this event happen every single weekend. And so as soon as the players are live, you'll know that they're already into those lobbies because their streams are on a slight delay. And that way, you know, on this main stream is where you can kind of see the most up-to-date, the most real-time gameplay possible, and then also have an opportunity to watch your creators that are in this event if you want to go see that instant replay on their stream. So like I said, we've got 2 or 3 minutes here where we're waiting on them to be able to get loaded up, get all the ammo into their kit, and then get into the game for that 30-minute timer to start counting down on farmland. And I'd like to see from the chat, I would like to see who you think's going to take the edge today. Both players deeply experienced, both players with a ton of time on all sorts of different gun variants, as well as all of these maps. And so I'd like to see what you think about who has the best chances today and who you think will come out with the most likelihood of extracting, getting that loot onto the scoreboard. And I expect a total loot value at the end of the day. We're going to say close to 3 million for our winner. I think we'll see something between 2.5 and 3 million as the total today. But we'll see if I'm right there as we get into these games here in just a minute, and see how successful these guys are this weekend. I mean, last weekend we saw death after death on these maps. CoScript had some incredible moments and gunfights in the previous event as well, and had real loot value that he lost a couple of times on the death, especially after, you know, there's those heartbreaking moments that CoScript had when he wiped multiple teams on farm at Motel. Just 1v4s all over the place, and then got unlucky with a bot. And he's not the only one we've seen that happen to. So yeah, it's all going to come down to winning those gunfights, making good choices on your loadout that you bring into each one of these maps, and then getting off the map safely once you've got that loot value. So, yep, I am enjoying this game particularly myself because I have 10 years of experience in the U.S. Army. I served on 3 combat deployments. I was an infantry officer, a paratrooper, and you know, I really enjoyed my time as a Ranger qualified infantryman. And so I'm able to take some of that tactical experience, you know, as it applies and where it applies, to be able to implement in this game, and then commentate on how these guys are implementing correct tactics in their gameplay. Because this game in Arena Breakout is realistic enough that you can apply real world tactical understanding and kind of gunfight decision making to this game in a way that actually increases your chance for a positive outcome. So we'll see what we can get from those guys today, those successful tactics, as we hop into farm. Farm known as the PvP centric map in this game, and we've got Dab on to the map here and already in this this point of interest, going after the safe. And that's what he said was his main tactic today, is he's got all these keys, he knows exactly where he needs to go, and so he's going to be headed straight for the safes on farm. Now he's slow walking here.
Okay,
He
the
sees those
bandits just
footsteps.
spawned in.
We've got to assume those are guards.
Alright,
He
we can't
says the
waste too much
bandits, so
time. I
one
can't
of
be
the
slow
roving
walking.
squads on the map. As he continues to loot out this first locked room.
Oh, that's down below. That scared me.
And you notice that as he's got these footsteps, you see the visual indicator, you hear him. He continues to loot as he gets updates on where in Grain Trade Center here these bots are, or potentially these other players. But that's going to be key, is keeping up the momentum as he downs that guard. And like I said, he's going to continue to move this entire time. What we've seen is one of the main areas of success for these players, and what you're seeing from Dab right now is loot, then move and continue moving. Move through the gunfights. Don't get bogged down. Don't get delayed. Get to those POIs and wipe the teams that are in your way. And that continuous momentum is what we've seen drive a lot of success in both Triathlon and Golden Lions Legion events so far. SEMIVAN with the gold Desert Eagle. That's the first time we've seen this weapon choice in the pistol and sniper format. The Desert Eagle is one of the most popular choices for players that try and limit their gear value and go in light for the biggest potential outcome for the smallest amount of risk, while still having enough power in the weapon to take someone down with 2 shots.
Yeah.
Dab is clearly hunting a team right now as he pushes all the way into the western corner of the map. This is the opposite direction from Motel where we expect him to go.
Okay. Okay, buddy.
And that's an example of just, you know, the limited opportunity with what some of these players and bots have on them as gear value on this map. You hear Dab mention that the grenade he used to kill him cost more than the entire kit on the player. And I see V in the chat saying that SEMIVAN doesn't even have a sniper rifle equipped. We'll see if that's the case when we hop back on his screen. But going pistol only on farm is a bold move that opens up another weapon slot to maximize potential loot value. But unless you pick up a sniper, that's a weapon that's sitting in one of those main slots that he's not eligible to use. And Dab with that ruby knife out, slowly but surely moving across this map now, and taking those mid-range fights with the pistol instead of the sniper rifle. Dab now as well moving towards the, or SEMIVAN as well now moving towards the center of the map. Whoo, the quick flick from Dab. I don't think we've seen some pistol work like that up to this point on these events, but he's coming into the back, the south side of Motel now.
Just so we can get up into that main bedroom.
High expectation of running into guards this early in the game. 26 minutes left in our round on farm. SEMIVAN downing a player. I thought that was a guard initially. A low gear value player, but showing how effective that Desert Eagle can be in the gunfight up close. He's had some loot opportunity here so far, but SEMIVAN not generating too much value in the backpack yet. My favorite weapon in this game is typically the M4, just because that is the weapon that I have the most experience with in real life. I have a real M4 here in the studio, which should demonstrate how familiar and close I am with that weapon system, having served in the Army. But these guys are not going to have an opportunity to use any of those ARs until they are on Armory. And so SEMIVAN here, no main weapon, just a sniper, or excuse me, just that gold Desert Eagle and a knife, and taking some chances here, taking all of those gunfights, even his long-range fights with that Desert Eagle will increase the risk for sure. So only got a couple thousand in loot value here, but those M80 rounds, high-value rounds, and now Dab in Motel. He wasn't lying when he said he brought all the keys for this map, as every single locked door he's come across, we've seen him open. But there's a player, and he gets into the pistol fight, able to down that player, but both arms broken. He's in need of a bandage. He's got more potential guards or players coming in his direction. Just praying for the best right now. There's no way to relock this door once it's unlocked. And so he's going to have to try and get his surgery in. Try and heal up. With all of these guards, potentially players coming at him. And he grenades! Takes shots, but lands in his own Molotov fire.
All right, cool. You know what?
Killed by Ajax himself.
So let's just...
Dab with a tough first game. He had all of the safes and locked doors open, but goes down on the objective to that boss squad. SEMIVAN's still on the move. He's yet to really go and commit to Motel, as it looks like he's really just trying to sweep the map with that Desert Eagle, take out any targets of opportunity. SEMIVAN approaching very carefully at distance with this Desert Eagle. Got what looks to be an AI guard in his sights there at mid-range. But he knows there's a gunfight south of the road, and he's probably waiting for his best opportunity here on when he can close the distance there. He's going to wait for that guard to get out of his line of sight completely and potentially close the distance after that to try and take advantage of a third party on that gunfight. SEMIVAN backing away now. He's got a guard up in the tower on the top level. Hits those meds early so that if he takes too much damage to one of his legs, it's not going to slow down his ability to run. And he decides to not engage that guard and just continue to loop around. Trying to flank that gunfight south of the road, but everywhere he goes, he's got guards and potentially other teams. He sees those, hears those footsteps all around him there. SEMIVAN playing very cautiously without a sniper rifle. And he may be taking a very scavenger style approach here by avoiding all early gunfights and sweeping through as they end. There's clearly a team fighting guards as we hear the guards' voice lines as they go down. And that continual shots. He lost his view of that player below the bridge for a second there, but he knows where this team is. He knows where those guards are, and that he's also activated the guards. And so SEMIVAN, lots of patience right now as he waits for this gunfight to progress before he closes the distance. This kind of cautious tactical play is exactly what he needs to be doing, given the weapons he's got on him, to really increase his likelihood of extracting here. He's letting the guards give him plenty of information on where these potential threats are, where these other players are. Continues to move carefully. Slowly but surely closing the distance and takes his shots there. Lands quite a few shots with that Desert Eagle. Backs up for more cover. Tries to take this angle. Untouched so far, except for a couple of minor injuries. Looks like one of the player's rounds may have hit him, but he is unaffected right now with barely any damage. Waiting for those footsteps, takes more shots. Doesn't look like any of those hit, but he knows exactly where this player is. Easy kill for SEMIVAN.
One for parts.
Dab now back into his second game. Looks like he's in Grain Trade Center. in that locked room. He's going to hit those doors every single time and go for those safes. Taking a bit of damage from that bot, but not too badly there. And really, you can see the urgency in Dab's pace right now as he runs out of Grain Trade Center. Is basically sprinting towards those gunshots he just heard in the distance. He's got that sniper rifle out, and he's going to be checking these lanes, but it's very clear he wants to get in motel as quickly as possible. One of the best opportunities for these players is going to be to wait until the team gets in a gunfight with guards, those bots, and try and third party that. That's a guard below him. So he knows there's a team or a potential just solo player out there in his vicinity. SEMIVAN moving up towards stables now. And this is his first approach to one of the major POIs on this map. As we see Dab on his second fast approach to motel, but he clearly has slowed down here, trying to assess this threat and be as careful as possible. Interesting, he's only got that pistol out.
Did we just plant some cheese?
He's trying to bait someone into looting. SEMIVAN now hitting every shot with that Desert Eagle, taking almost no damage to manage this guard threat. Bot's predictive and moving slowly towards his position. Actually takes some real damage here. Broken arm. He's got guards coming up from behind him here up the stairs. Finally downs that. Looks like he has 3 left in stables. Painkillers have run out. He's likely got some time to heal. Dab now on a pile of bodies with great armor. And it may be the case that this team has already looted part of Motel for him as well. This is exactly what Dab wants to see, is an opportunity to pick up a high-value weapon, some high-value gear, and get to an extract quickly. Just over 16 minutes left in this round on farmland, and these players are, nearing the halfway point with neither having successfully extracted up to this point. Dab now with some solid loot, hasn't even gone into motel yet. And with that loot and these kills, he has likely fully caught up to SEMIVAN and kind of erased the potential negative effect of that death at this point. Now he has quite a bit of loot here, and his storage is almost full. And so I expect to see him start using some of those drinks and then start making some decisions on value.
All right, buddy.
Big gear value, especially given we are on normal farm. And so it looks like he's going to go ahead and hit the red stem and the blue at the same time here and head straight for the extract.
All the way across the map.
Now, I think that southern extract point, if he has the cash, is the obvious move here.
In 3K.
He doesn't have it, so he's going to have to move all the way to the eastern side of the map here in order to extract. He's got plenty of time with just under 15 minutes on the clock for our 30-minute round on farmland. And so, but the challenge here is the farther you have to go, the more at risk you are for injury, as he now has to hit a bandage from that altercation with the guard. And given that there are AI down in motel, he did kill that team, but he does not know if there's more players in here just waiting for him around a corner. Looking to take some time and trade up some of those slots in his backpack for higher value items. Now, he looted quite a few of those energy drinks, and so we should see him use some of those. That ruby ring, likely the highest value safe item we've seen so far in this round. Dab now with impressive loot value in the backpack, but he still has to get off of this map. Another ring. Now, this run to this room is paid off with the loot, but with every minute that passes, he reduces the likelihood of a third game being successful here.
Yo, where's my laser?
Struggling with that guard. Not taking too much damage, but he's got to hit his shots. He finally downs him. Easy close range gunfight there. And Dab still running into a little bit of traffic in Motel. Looks like he's really committing to this loot here. SEMIVAN now in the game with a sniper rifle. We didn't see an extract from him, so he is either just picked... No, he's back into a second game. So we should see an update on loot value in the extract unless he was killed in that first game as well. If he did not successfully extract from that first game, that puts him at a significant disadvantage now. Dab still with 0 on the board, but a backpack full of high-value loot. SEMIVAN moving much more urgently now in his second game than in his first. Sprinting across the map with that sniper. The stem shots are in. And so he is on the move here, looking like he's going to go straight across to the west side of the map, get close to stables and motel as quickly as possible. Gets himself into a decent sniping position. He's running straight to this gunfight. SEMIVAN picking up the urgency in game 2. Hits one shot, but doesn't down him. Likely downs him with the second. Looks like he's going to try and deal with this gunfight from a distance. From what I can tell, SEMIVAN did not have a successful extraction from game 1. And so both players still with 0 coin on the board. No loot value so far. We'll be able to check in with Dab here in a second. But SEMIVAN looking to manage this gunfight. Now we can hear those footsteps in front of him. Lands one shot. The second shot does it for SEMIVAN. An easy flank to detect with those footsteps there. Pretty sure that was an AI guard, but if not that, a low-geared player. Shooting through the bushes now. Easy shots for SEMIVAN. That is a tough angle to be super accurate with. Not having any problems in the gunfight at this point. Not particularly high value loot here. And SEMIVAN with no backpack on, waiting to be able to pull a backpack from another player off of this map. I didn't see him drop his for this gunfight, so SEMIVAN hoping to be able to down a team and pick up both a backpack and some additional loot. Looks like he's got that M24 and it's serving him well now. But Dab with the AR out. And we'll get a rules clarification here. Now, we know these players are only allowed to bring in a sniper and a pistol, but the jury is out right now. We have not seen him use that AR.
I'll have fun in there.
But he is clearly headed straight to the extract. So if he's got it out, that's fine. But if he downs a team with that, it may be suspect. Now, in these games, these are all on global lobbies. And so there is a chance, given that these players queue in to the first game of each round at the same time, that they could end up in the same lobby. Dab now seeing the extract in front of him.
All right, let's go. Let's lock it in.
All right, he's able to extract here. Woo! 10 seconds until he locks this loot in and gets it on the board. This will be the first successful extraction with high loot value that we've seen so far.
Let's see. Yo,
416,000 for Dab. That is a huge lead to take at this point in the game. SEMIVAN now filling up his storage given that lack of a backpack. Grabs a pistol. So in this one, he only brought the sniper in. Now he's got that 1911. Unable to hit that headshot. Does with the second. Trying to take these gunfights at distance up to this point. Now that we're down to less than 7 minutes in this round, these players have to get off the map before the round timer is up. There may be some, slight differences in the delay between their stream and this timer, but they're going to need to get off the map within that 30 minutes for the loot value to count. SEMIVAN downing these guards easily with that M24 sniper. But he does not have a ton of loot value in his vest right now. And we are at just over 6 minutes left in this round. SEMIVAN's not going to find the loot he needs to catch up with Dab on those AI guards. And so he's going to have to get to one of these points of interest. He's going to have to find a gunfight with other players or get lucky with one of those safes if he wants to close that gap. We see the scoreboard updated. Dab with 416,877 coin on the board now. SEMIVAN still with 0. In his sprint here to stables. Shot from the south. One shot doing a lot of damage, and we didn't hear the gunshot, which means there's a chance he was just shot by a suppressed sniper rifle from the vicinity of motel. He's got footsteps near him now. He's got this shotgun that he picked up off of a guard. Grenades coming in now on SEMIVAN, doing some damage. He continues to heal through it. He's pinned down behind this hay bale here. He's been flanked. He's taking shots from both directions, and SEMIVAN goes down. in his second game. Only 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on this round timer. It is not looking good for SEMIVAN's total loot value, given that he is still at 0, and Dab may be trying to rush a game in these last 4 minutes. Now, we got to remember, though, that SEMIVAN has a ton of experience on Armory. He plays that map all the time, and Armory is one of those maps where you can completely make up any lead. I mean, there are games on Armory and opportunities to come off of that map with 1 million plus in loot value. And with SEMIVAN's experience and reps on that map, I would not put it past him. So while he is down by over 400,000, he is definitely not out. It is early in the competition at this point, and he's clearly got the gear in storage to supply himself throughout this entire event today. Everyone realizing what is on that compact mount there. Every single one of those is over 20K in value, and I don't think I've ever seen that many butt stocks in storage on anyone's account up to this point. 3 minutes left now. SEMIVAN not looking like he is rushed to get into a game, and it is almost guaranteed at this point that at the end of this round, the score you see on the bottom of your screen will in fact be our scoreboard for round 1. So Dab pulling keys, clearly getting ready now for Valley. Both of these players without enough time to start enough games, or another game. So we're pulled out of our first round. Neither player able to fully utilize that 30 minutes, as the timing just doesn't work out for them to be able to get in a third game on farm. And Dab coming away with the huge extraction, able to down a player wearing that tier 6, I believe he had on, and able to also get a couple of gold rings out of those safes on that run. And he was able to also safely get off the map. And so Dab coming away with 416,000 plus, and SEMIVAN after round 1 still at 0. We'll see if he changes his tactic in our next round on Valley. But before we go to Valley, these players have to get geared up, get their loadouts adjusted, and get ready for that map. We're going to be able to see a official score update and then some highlights from farm, with both of these players running into plenty of struggles, and really shows the difficulty of playing this game solo, and how if you get pinned down by a team throwing grenades, maneuvering, if you get pinned down in a situation where you have to deal with a boss squad and 1 or 2 players in the same building at the same time, as a solo player, it is nearly impossible to get out of that situation alive. We have our official score update from farm. Dab with 416,877 in total value, and SEMIVAN still at 0. Now, both of these players had plenty of success in their gunfights in those games, but what it came down to is finding themselves in situations where they were pinned down, had too much pressure, and as a solo player, that's very difficult to handle. And so you've got to hit that extract point in order to bank that total loot value. So Dab having 1 successful extraction on our farm round, and 1 extraction is all it took. Now, all of that can change as we get into Valley. But let's check out some highlights from farm. Dab in his first game here, moving quickly through Grain Trade Center, but as we know, he ran into all kinds of trouble once he got into Motel. And SEMIVAN in his first game elected to go with the gold Desert Eagle and then the sniper rifle later, but that was the beginning of the end for Dab, as he throws the molly for the boss squad approaching, ends up getting shot and mollying himself at the same time, and then SEMIVAN able to get some things done, but not able to get to the extract there. Dab moving quickly but carefully in that second game, setting up the gunfight well. Whereas SEMIVAN able to get into these POIs and defend himself pretty well, but eventually going down in both of his games. SEMIVAN had no problem throughout the time on farm landing shots with that sniper rifle, but very consistently needing to two-shot, as we see in all of these situations here.
At least like 300K,
and
right?
while he had plenty of success in the gunfight, it only takes one situation to have that extraction fail, and Dab, as we see, extremely excited, hyped up, able to get one successful extraction, and SEMIVAN's final death at the end, and down by that speed. Now we've got these players getting ready, getting their loadouts together for Valley. So as soon as they are ready, that 30-minute timer will start and we will be into the game with them. And I think the biggest thing that we see there is when these players get pinned down, when they get fixed in place, all of a sudden the likelihood that they're able to get off the map successfully drops just to zero. And I mean, that's a basic tactical principle, is to fix the enemy in place, close the distance, keep them fixed in place, and then assault across and destroy that enemy. That's basic tactics. And we saw both of our players become the victim of that series of tactics in round one. And so for success in round two, they're going to have to keep that momentum. I keep mentioning that momentum through the gunfight. Momentum in the gunfight is absolutely essential. And if you can keep moving forward, keep attempting to close the distance and do more damage to the enemy players than they do to you in that process, you generate that momentum. And a withdrawal under fire is always classified as the most difficult and most dangerous military maneuver. And all of that real world tactics and strategy applies in this game, even as a solo player, right? Both of these players are going to have to build momentum in those gunfights on Valley. They're going to have to gain that momentum in each of those gunfights, start to push the enemy team to withdraw, and then finish the fight once the enemy team starts pulling back. That's their best chance for success, but a tall order as a solo player, as the difficulty and the expected gear of the teams they'll see on these maps continues to ratchet up throughout the event today. So we'll be coming up on our 30-minute timer for Valley. And then what we have next in the agenda for today, we've got a couple more codes that will come up throughout the stream, 2 more iterations of that. After our Valley map, we'll see a score update and some highlights potentially. And then we will go to a 10-minute break where these players will have a break, be able to refill the water in the glass, and get ready for Armory. And so that's what we'll be doing for the rest of the stream today. We'll have our opportunity for an interview with the winner at the end. And we have our next 5 redemption codes here on the screen. These are one-time use codes, so you've got to be quick. You've got to be first. Redeem one of these codes in-game in order to get that bundle, get that higher level gear, ammo or guns, and then hop in to the maps as a player, maybe as a solo player like you see our players today, and see how that works out for you. So yeah, I think on Valley we're not going to see SEMIVAN go with the pistol only strategy, but hey, you never know. He stayed tight-lipped in the interview and he didn't reveal any strategies, so we'll have to see what he decides to do to try and increase his chances of extracting off of that map in Valley. So Dab, up to this point, with a significant lead with 416,000 from his only extract on farm. We'll see if he can keep that lead. We'll see, but I mean, all it takes is one extraction for that score to completely be flipped on its head. So that's what SEMIVAN's going to look to do here. And I'd be very surprised if we see anything other than both of these players heading straight to Villa. Likely going to see them run through RV camp on their route to Villa if possible, clear that high ground, and then get down into that point of interest where there's multiple safes and opportunity for higher tier loot, but also the best opportunity for gunfights with a little bit of elevation, with a little bit of cover that they're provided with at the buildings there in Villa. So that's what I expect to see from them, but we will have to see if that's what they choose. The sniper rifle going to give them a little bit more opportunity on this map to maximize the effective range of that weapon system. And that's the biggest drawback to any sniper rifle in this game, is the ability to use that in close range. The zoom on that optic kind of limiting your field of view, especially indoors. And so we saw a lot last week of machine pistol or automatic pistol, F57 combined with the sniper rifle. And I expect that is what we will see today. But that gold Desert Eagle, that might be what he sticks with. SEMIVAN's strategy not working out so far in farm, but all of that could change here going into Valley. So as soon as that 30-minute timer starts, we will be into the second map. Both of these players jumping into their third game now of this series going into Valley. And, you know, it swings quite a bit week to week in how many games players get into that 30-minute round. We've seen, obviously facilitated by some quick deaths, but we've seen players get 4 and 5 games inside of 30 minutes. And then we've seen players go with only one game for the entire 30-minute duration. So it all comes down to, you know, how the gunfight goes, how much momentum these guys can maintain in those gunfights. And obviously, fewer games happen when they do get that successful extract, because those games could take 20, 25 minutes. But that is going to be the key. So we see Dab also electing to go with significantly higher level gear than SEMIVAN. And, you know, that gear may be a big part of the reason he was able to withstand so many gunfights in that second game. We are now going to jump into Valley with these players. Our second round, the 30-minute timer has started, and Valley as a map is much more wide open, much more sniping opportunity. We see SEMIVAN now for the first time bringing the sniper pistol combination, both guns, and looking for opportunities at long distance. Not seeing any targets of opportunity yet. And back to his typical slower, more deliberate, tactically cautious movement style. Ultra cautious for SEMIVAN here. He gets the stem in, takes the painkillers very early. Those painkillers brighten up the screen, give you a little bit better visibility, but the main advantage of having those painkillers on before the gunfight ever starts is that you could get surprised by a player, and if they shoot your legs up, you're immediately stuck in position, slow walking, and that never goes well. So to avoid that happening, even with broken legs, those painkillers on before the gunfight ever starts is a clear move for him. These guards in RV camp should not present a problem. No issues so far for SEMIVAN. He goes straight for the door where he knows there's the locked door and the safe on the inside. But there's a gunfight in front of him. He's going to take that opportunity. The sound accuracy in this game with ricocheting rounds and rounds that fly close to you is remarkably accurate. I can tell you from personal experience that those sounds almost make me jump in my chair. They're so accurate.
So I guess the noises we heard weren't from here?
Dab now also at RV camp, and it sounds like the same gunfight is going on around them, so be interested to see if they're in the same lobby. But SEMIVAN now taking out players and guards down at Valley Village, using that high ground to his advantage with the sniper rifle, but trying to limit his exposure in the process. Trying to manage threats from a bunch of different directions as he's here on this high ground. He knows he's got that bot squad. Oh, that could potentially be players. It's hard to tell at this distance, but he's got both guards and AI as well as players all over the place. Takes one down there trying to snipe, but catches him early. He knows he's going to have a threat run up this road at some point. That airdrop's going to land right in front of him and give him more bait sniping opportunities. Takes down another guard. SEMIVAN lives on this cliff now. This is his new home. Long distance sniping attempts from SEMIVAN. Looks to have potentially missed that shot at distance. He hits that one, though. Gonna try and close the distance, make this a bit of an easier snipe for himself. Got plenty of ground to work with, plenty of cover to work with. Dab now moving down to the low ground. Kills what looks to have been a guard on the high ground there, but player in his face takes lots of damage, but he's got the second sniper shot and easily downs him there.
Alrighty.
Doesn't even get any limbs broken. Dab with that cool, calm, and collected
first
reaction in the close-up gunfight. Elects to not even go loot. That may have been a bot, but it looked like they were rare in tier 3, so I doubt it. These players definitely not bots, as bots do not carry 2 guns. Scavenger players not in this game. It looks like that is a potential player. So SEMIVAN racking up the kills so far in this game, but no loot picked up of any real value. He has bodies all over the map in front of him. Getting shot at by that player in the distance. Not an issue for SEMIVAN right now.
Oh no.
Dab in a gunfight. One arm broken. Realizing his issues there with a pistol fight at mid-range, and he goes down.
Imposter? Oh no, I actually died to a player.
He got third party there. A player waiting for him to engage those bots clearly. Had his number, and Dab down and out in game 1. SEMIVAN now with a field of bodies in front of him, having had no issues at all up to this point in the game. SKS scope and suppressor, decent value. He's got that big field backpack on. Not a ton of high value loot on that player, though. Those footsteps getting awfully close. He sees the player. There's those guard voice lines. Not going to have any issues with this, but it is delaying his time to loot. Drops those threats and immediately goes back to looting. SEMIVAN may have wiped this map clean at this point without even looting Villa yet. Saving space. He's going to stack these. He's going to stack this ammo up to 60. And you see the experience he's got in this game. At this point, he's min-maxing as he loots. Got some serious ammo in that sniper rifle. After his time on farm where he had too many of those 2-shot kills, he's got the AX50 with high level ammo, and that is causing no problems with him getting all these kills. As you see, just nothing left alive on this map. SEMIVAN moving from body to body, but may finally make the decision to go into Villa. Easy shots on these AI, but a gunfight in front of him. If we've seen anything from SEMIVAN up to this point today, when he hears a gunfight in front of him, he cannot resist but to sprint straight towards that gunfight. Dab now moving across the beach, back into the game, in a sprint towards Villa
this is the
early.
spawn where we get in, we hit the safe, and we leave by the helicopter, hopefully.
Now, if you do get that close spawn, you can get to Villa faster than a player can get to an area where they can snipe you on that beach. And so you can almost, by sprinting like that, you can nearly guarantee that you're the first one in Villa, clear the guards, set up a point where you can basically be on the defensive and trap teams and players as they come in to Villa. So that's what it looks like Dab is going to try and do here. He knows he's got to have likely those three dog tags or a boss token to get off of that helicopter. It's almost always 3 enemy dog tags required. And so he is going to have to get into the gunfight, get those dog tags to be able to extract in that position. Struggling with the wall right now. SEMIVAN, as always, in a gunfight with someone. It would be amazing if SEMIVAN's strategy was just to get into a bunch of gunfights and have fun on these first 2 maps and then pump out 2.5 million coin and loot on Armory. And we haven't even seen SEMIVAN loot one of the AI bodies yet. Deals with his first imposter. Takes what looks like 0 damage in that fight. A little bit of strafe movement. All the safety he needs there, and the imposter's down quickly. He has player bodies all over this map, but none have really presented a super high value in loot so far. Pulls the entire vest. Throws it in the backpack, pulls the whole backpack. SEMIVAN slowly but surely racking up loot value here.
Oh, I'm gonna have to fight some players at some point so I can get 2 dog tags to get out of here.
Dab knows what he needs, and he's got all the time in the world right now to loot all of the Villa high value items. Hoping for the best with safe RNG here, but here's some footsteps. Wants to deal with this guard threat potentially. No love from the safe. I think he's missing out by not hitting all of these. There we go. You got to hit the luggage. You got to hit the coats and jackets hanging on the wall, as that's where you can expect to find keys. And keys are some of the highest value to space ratio in the game. Casually taking out those guards in Villa, and this should not be difficult for either of these players here, but goes up against his first player. Where did that player come from? Dab almost dead. I don't know how many of us saw that player coming, but I did not see those footsteps, the indicators on the screen, or hear them in the audio, and Dab's surprised now with 4 broken limbs. He's going to get these painkillers in, but he's got to start doing surgery or he's going to die in his next gunfight. Really great use of the decoy grenade here. It's going to give him much more time to heal. Dab hears those footsteps above him and is going to stay in this position here. He's got those decoy grenades that are going to, just give enough noise to present a big enough threat so that that player stays safe, which gives Dab enough time to heal and do surgery on all of those body parts. Throws another decoy. That decoy grenade is his saving grace right now. He knows where the threat could potentially come from. He needs to stay safe and continue to do surgery. Got to risk with those windows and that walkover, that catwalk.
I gotta get in a better spot to heal.
Got 3 more body parts he's got to do surgery on right now.
This is rough. 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 This is rough.
And we do have a little bit of his screen cropped here as a result of his iPad aspect ratio, so we can barely see the visual footsteps indicator on his screen. But you can see those footsteps right in front of him. There's the player. Looks to be a decent grenade from Dab. Gets the kill. Little bit more injury there.
Man, you wasted my time, bro.
Quite a bit of work for not a lot of loot value, but he's able to eliminate the threat. He can finish all of that medical care.
That was a waste of time.
SEMIVAN now late in the game, through the mid game here on Valley, and clearly moving towards his extraction point. Now, remember, we have not seen a successful extraction from either of these players yet on Valley, and we have 10.5 minutes left in this 30-minute round. Moving carefully across this open area of the map, but he is close to the extraction. SEMIVAN looking like he's going to have an opportunity for his first successful extraction in the event so far. And SEMIVAN gets off the map with an uneventful run to the extraction point. We'll see what his loot value is. 142,000, a pretty standard amount of loot for Valley. 20 kills, though. Just wiping the map clean. Closes the gap a little bit with Dab, but Dab here in Villa. Dealing with some bots. And finishing his process of looting Villa. Think he's going to need one more set of dog tags before he's able to activate that helicopter extraction.
Come on, GG item, boys. Come on. Oh, man.
Now remember, even if these players are able to get loot value back in their secure container, if they don't successfully extract, it does not count towards their loot total.
See, where's my extract?
Now, Dab has the time to make it to this extract. It only takes about 30 seconds per 100 meters to move across the map. If that, if he's got those stem shots, which he does. So he's got plenty of time to get to the extract. He's ahead in this game by almost 300,000 coin at this point. Consolidating ammo between his magazines, making sure he is ready to go in the event of any gunfights as he moves towards his extraction point. He's got all the energy drinks, all the stem shots. He's going to be able to sprint all the way home here. But there are clearly gunfights going on in this map. There are clearly players left on this map. So he's got to deal with that threat as he moves all the way to the northwestern portion of this map for his extraction. Dab taking a high risk but high speed route here as he runs straight across the open area. All the stem shots in.
To extract and lock this in. We'll be fine. We should be good.
Energy drinks on deck.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll just lock these rings in and this guy's MP5, I guess. Since I genuinely have a hard time on this map, I'm just going to lock this in.
Yeah, I think this is the best strategy for Dab right here, as he knows any additional gunfights he gets in obviously present the risk that he doesn't make it off this map. But even more important, if he gets bogged down by a gunfight, if he gets delayed by a gunfight, if that happens a couple of times, he might not make it off of the map in time. We've got just over 6 minutes left in our 30 minutes on Valley. And
that'd be crazy.
I think Dab is executing the perfect strategy up to this point.
That's already opened down there.
Dab with an uneventful sprint to the extraction point so far, and he's passed all of the high traffic lanes on this map, and so unlikely to run into too much trouble with the short distance he's got left to get to the extraction point. You can see how quickly having those energy drinks and both those stem shots on board, how that changes the game in movement speed across these maps with an ideal setup to get himself to the extraction point quickly. He sees the red smoke. He's going to get behind those sandbags. In 10 seconds, he's going to lock in this loot value and open that gap back up a little bit more over SEMIVAN in the total scoreboard loot value.
All right, locked in. Locked in, boys. Locked in, locked in, locked in. Yo, big shout out to all new followers and subscribers right there.
Dab going down in his first game, but getting off the map in game 2 on Valley. And he's got some decent loot in there. It's not nearly as successful as his run on farm. 50,000 opens that gap up a little bit more.
I'm happy with it, bro.
Likely about 320,000 ahead right now. We'll obviously have the official scores. They'll be updated on the bottom of the screen as we go.
Get ready for Armory.
Now Dab electing to not try and squeeze in an additional game on Valley, comfortably in the lead. But SEMIVAN, he knows he's behind. He's got 4.5 minutes left, and he's back on the map. Got stem shots in. He's sprinting his way towards a potential gunfight or some loot. Just running across this map with reckless abandon at this point. Ignoring the AI so far. SEMIVAN in an all-out sprint. He knows he's got to get towards a loot opportunity, and he knows he's got to get as close as possible to an extract point in the process. 3 minutes is absolutely possible to successfully extract off of this game, off of this map in the time he had. He queued into this game with about 5 minutes left. And so we've seen, like I said, a sub 3 minute, 500,000 loot game on this map before, but granted, that was in a team effort and this is solo. So he sees those footsteps indicators, he hears those footsteps around him, but he is sprinting through all of it to get any opportunity here for some decent loot value. Now, this airdrop container is absolutely full, but nothing particularly great in there. That strength stem potentially coming in handy here a little bit later in this game. Continues the all-out sprint across this map. Looks like he's headed towards RV. Broken arm, but quick kills for SEMIVAN. Moving towards where he knows the gunfight is, but also a potential close extraction opportunity. If he's able to get into a gunfight, get some loot, and then get out of here with the safety cord at this RV camp extraction point, that would be a huge victory. But Molotov's already been thrown here. Drops the first threat. Still hears footsteps. Easy kills for SEMIVAN so far. Not even sure if he killed that player. Nope, he's still got footsteps there. SEMIVAN just burning through this as quickly as possible. Drops the threat. Looks like it could potentially be a player, but taking shots from the high ground. And SEMIVAN goes down with less than 1 minute left in the 30-minute game timer. And that's the risk of the fast movement strategy there. He knew that that was his only option and had quite a bit of success in that game up until that very last gunfight, taking a shot to the head at the end to end it. And SEMIVAN able to close the gap, though, in the overall scoreboard just prior to going into his favorite map where he's got the most experience. So SEMIVAN not successful in that final run in the last couple of minutes of the Valley countdown timer, but with that 142k extraction value, he is able to close the gap. Dab only getting 50k off of Valley, stays in the lead. So we'll have the score recap, get the exact numbers. We'll have the highlights coming up. We'll either do that before or after our upcoming 10-minute break. And then we will be into Armory. And at this point, Armory is going to decide this game. Armory is going to decide the matchup. SEMIVAN with all of that experience, Dab with plenty of experience on Armory of his own. And it's all about, as we've seen so far, success in the gunfight doesn't necessarily dictate who wins, because it comes down to getting off of the map. And, you know, SEMIVAN seemingly having no trouble with accuracy in those gunfights, but finding himself in situations where he is unable to get out alive. We've got our game recap for Valley. SEMIVAN with 142,684 coin in total value, and Dab with 50,913. Dab able to maintain the lead, able to get an extraction after a bit of a fight in Valley Villa, and not quite enough to win the map, but enough to stay in the lead. And SEMIVAN, by closing that gap even just a little bit, by 92,000 or so, allows himself a little bit more space going into Armory so that he can try and, you know, potentially in one game, not just close the rest of the gap, but take a significant lead. There are all kinds of opportunity on Armory for a 1 million extract value. And so we're going to check some highlights from these Valley games, and then we will be on to our final map. So SEMIVAN electing to take that high ground early, and he just put bodies out there in front of him. He had a field of players and guards throughout this game in front of him, and he cleared everything. Those mid-distance and long-distance fights were no problem for him, and Dab able to do the same thing, even cool and calm and collected, like we said in this close-up gunfight with the sniper. SEMIVAN taking plenty of long-range fights there, both having success, but Dab going down early in that first game. And SEMIVAN, game one, highly successful, no problem in the close, mid, or long-range gunfights. Dab almost dying here as this player completely surprised him, but able to finish it off in the end there. Get that MP5, which was key to his loot value, and get off the map. SEMIVAN with 142,000 in value to win the map. And Dab, those close-range gunfights and not taking too much damage,
locked in,
allowed him one successful raid on the Valley round here. I love going into Armory with a close scoreboard. It forces these players to really push on Armory, and SEMIVAN unable to get the quick turn game there with his death at the end. We commend the effort. So I'm excited. I always get excited with these players going into Armory. I've played 25 or 30 solo Armory games. My extraction rate is abysmally low. I think I probably have a 10% extraction rate on solo Armory. Maybe a bit of a skill issue, but the map is difficult. There are threats in all directions. And with these players diving in here solo, the spawn location will be a huge factor. Nobody wants that gas station spawn as a solo. They want the hospital spawn. They want that stuff that's close and gets them into bunker. And so we will be able to see what happens with that after we return. We're going to have a 10-minute break, give these players a chance to shake it out and get ready, get the loadouts ready for their most difficult challenge of the day. So stay with us. We'll be back here in 10 minutes and jumping into Armory.
Yeah, go on. Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer! A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Kimona really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. Our primary goal for Arena Breakout is to deliver a highly immersive tactical shooter experience to hardcore fans of first-person shooter games. That is why one key principle for us has been the realistic depiction of the battlefield. Doesn't the sky in Arena Breakout look fantastic? This is because our engineers have used the volumetric cloud technology that reproduces the visual effects of light passing through the cloud. Apart from volumetric cloud, we've also tapped into several other graphic techniques, like the environment light mixture, to make the game even more realistic. You can be at the farm with the sun right overhead at noon, or watch the sunset at dusk in a shady spot in the forest. There's also the question of sound. In Arena Breakout, you must use sounds to determine the enemy's position and gain the upper hand, to create a more immersive experience. We've developed an audio visualization system that displays the location of sound relative to your position. When you are playing, a bigger audio pole and clear lines means the source of the sound is close to you. However, not all sounds can be detected by the system. Some sounds, including doors being opened by the enemy, looting a container, or opening a safe, won't be detected by this system. We want audio visualization to benefit mobile players and provide a comparable experience to what you will find in console and PC games, without sacrificing the importance of developing listening skills in the game. Weapons are another critical aspect of any shooter game. Each and every firearm in Arena Breakout has been designed to be true to life in terms of how they look, how they fire, and the modes available to them. You can mix and match over 700 weapon modes and apply your choices to more than 10 weapon slots to forge the weapon that works best for you. The combinations are nearly limitless. We all know that realistic gun feel matters greatly to tactical FPS players. This is why we've spent a lot of time figuring out the best ways to replicate how a firearm feels. Take weapon recoil, for instance. We broke it down into its components, such as shake, the lifting of the muzzle, the backward movement, and work on this one by one in order to deliver a truly realistic recoil experience.
Wanna guess what's coming?
In Arena Breakout, the battlefield is full of variables and unknowns. This is a game that rewards taking risks. Win, you take everything. Lose, and you start from square one. This is a game of tactics and strategy, first of all. Even before you enter a match, you can shape your combat capabilities based on your preferences. Are you heading into the dark zone with all guns blazing? Or are you going to be the madman attempting to pull this off with nothing but a knife? Your choice of strategy will also determine the kind of game experience you have. You are free to make your own decisions based on the information you get. What kind of choices will you make under pressure? We've also taken great pains to make great maps. I will use the formula, a map most players should be familiar with, for an example. This is the first map we created for Arena Breakout to create a map that is full of interesting tactical space. We first laid out different zones in terms of value. We placed points of interest across the map to vary expected gains, risk, and travel time. These POIs also interact with each other to form the distinctive landscape of the farmland. A map like this makes for a highly dynamic and immersive experience as players engage in both a battle of skills and strategies. A battle that requires them to contend with the changes that occur in the field, and the emergent interactions between players with different skills and gear. I want to let you all know pre-registration for the game starts now worldwide, and we hope to officially launch in very near future. It's time to shoot and loot. Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. I'm the producer of Arena Breakout here at MoFan Studios. I started out in the industry back in 2004, working on console games like Killzone Shadowfall and Ghost Recon. For those who don't know, Arena Breakout is a first-person tactical shooter game. It's been 3 years in the making, and our goal is to develop a next-gen FPS game for mobile. In Arena Breakout, the objective is not to be the last one standing. Instead, shoot and loot is at the heart of this game. You grab your loot, then make your way out via the extraction points on the map. That's how you win the game. The dynamic and the immersive experience in Arena Breakout comes from the changes that occur on the battlefield, and the organic interactions between players of differing skill and equipment levels. This is what makes Arena Breakout a unique experience. In July of this year, we launched globally and welcomed millions of players to experience Arena Breakout. Now, I would like to announce that we are going to have our latest season update in October. Join us in Season 2 of Arena Breakout. We will release a brand new map, The Port, where players can explore the Guayapo Space City, once the largest naval base in Carmona. This is where players will find action-packed urban warfare in the streets. We will also bring you a host of new firearms, including assault rifles, shotgun, and a revolver. I know this is exciting for all the gunsmiths out there. Last but not least, the anticipated Storm Warning mode is about to debut. Take on other players and fight Ajax and Plero in foggy weather. Try equipping a tactical flashlight and enjoy a totally different gunfighting experience. Finally, I look forward to welcome all of you to the world of Arena Breakout, where a truly immersive and realistic battle experience awaits you. It's time to shoot and loot.
and we are back with our third round today in the Golden Lions Legion event. We've got Dab and SEMIVAN head-to-head as solo players on Armory. And this is Arena Breakout. This is the most tactically realistic game in mobile first-person shooters. And these guys have to get to the extract in order to bank that loot, get it on the scoreboard, and Armory is their best opportunity for that. I am Mod6. I'm your caster for these Golden Lions Legion events every Saturday, and we've got them coming at you through the end of this month, which means that we will get to see some action in this event as part of Season 2 of Arena Breakout. Season 2 is coming here in October. It should drop any day now. And with that Season 2 update, we're going to see things like the weather changes. We're going to see things like time of day changes, atmospheric condition changes, all things that you actually have to account for in mission planning in real life. Now, I've had conversations with the developers. I provide a little bit of input to make sure that some of these things are as realistic as possible in the game. I mean, one of my favorite conversations up to this point is with the lead game producer and with the launch director for North America. Detailed conversation about what hand grenades sound like when they explode in real life, what the actual physical effects on the terrain are of those things. And the conversation was so detailed because they wanted to get it right. I took this development team to the range in Los Angeles at the LA Gun Club, where we walked them through everything from gun safety to acquiring a sight picture and actually firing magazine after magazine of live rounds so they can personally feel the recoil. So this is the level of dedication from this team. We have also our next 5 redemption codes. You got to be quick. Those are one-time use codes here on the screen. So get in the game, go to the code redemption at your events button from your main screen on Arena Breakout and see if you can be the first one to redeem one of these redemption codes. So that'll get you the bundle, upgraded armor, ammo, guns, and get into Armory and see the level of difficulty you're about to see these players deal with here in our 30-minute round on Armory. So we've got the game timer starting up here in just a second, and we'll be able to hop into Armory as soon as both of these players are on the map. In our Golden Lions Legion series, we haven't seen yet any of these players on the same map actually get into a 1v1 gunfight. Now, in the previous series, we had multiple teams, more than just 2 in the event in the triathlon series, and we saw multiple instances of those teams actually getting into gunfights with each other in the same lobby. So that's what I always hope for here, and we're jumping into Armory now with our players. They're on the map. The 30-minute timer starts now. Armory, the most dangerous map in Arena Breakout. Those guards, the AI, have no fire delay and murderous accuracy, and there's a high expectation of all of these other teams on the map being geared with that high-level ammo, and so you have to be ultra careful, and we see that now with Dab moving carefully, demonstrating some tactical patience, looping around the satellite here at the middle of the map on Armory. He is in the middle of the map with alarms already sounded.
Really?
And there's your example of the danger of the AI on this map. Dab does his surgery and heals up. Looks like he also has a green stem on. And I love the green stem for this situation because if you take minor damage, you don't have to stop and heal. And SEMIVAN, he may very well have been in the same lobby as Dab there and been the one that caused that alarm on the bunker entry. But as SEMIVAN tries to go inside, he is downed in his first game on Armory. There's 28 minutes left in this round. Plenty of time for him to reset.
Who are they shooting?
Dab
It's
now
supposed to be M9.
emptying the drum on a team here at the front of bunker. Absolutely TAC Ops players there doing a ton of damage to the one player. Getting maybe a headshot there at distance. Now he's in a dangerous position here on this high ground, but it gives him an amazing field of view. He's going to jump down and he's going to close the distance here with this team. He absolutely has to at this point. They know where he is, and he was not able to get the kill on any of them from what I could see. And he landed a lot of shots there, but the fact of the matter is these teams are geared. Grenades coming in on Dab. Looks like it was just a smoke. He returns with not a smoke. Taking shots from his immediate right as he rounds that corner. He's got a broken arm. More demonstration of how difficult this map is as a solo player. The threats come from all directions. Dab, a madman for this optic on the H416, but absolutely getting it done up to this point. Clears that corner, but he's got guards across the field. He's got guards on both sides. Potentially a player behind him now. Both arms broken, injured, low health. Dab may not be long for this world in his first game on Armory, but he's able to get out of danger for the moment and start to heal. The hip fire, an interesting choice there, as now both arms are broken. But Dab winning every fight he's been in up to this point. Getting rushed by the guards. Handles the threat. Both arms broken is a dangerous situation. Those bots, it feels like they shoot for the arms more than anything else. And with both arms at near zero health like this, with them broken, if he has a fight with 2 or 3 guards at once, that could be the end of this game. At this point, he's been in a fight so long, he's got to reload. Grabs the spare gun, gives him a little bit more time in the gunfight before he's got to fully pull back and risk reloading all those mags and the time it takes. Still with broken arms, still winning every fight. Dab may have bought himself some time here on Armory.
All right, let's reset. Let's reset. Everybody breathe.
Dab dealing with the stress right now, but he's still alive. And SEMIVAN is right back into the fight. This is what I expected. But threats coming from multiple directions right now. No broken limbs yet. He gets naded, but pulls back with perfect timing. Shots from his right. He downs one. SEMIVAN now healed up. Half of the ammo left in his mag. Geared with that FAL. And he's found himself a corner here where he's relatively safe. Still looting now, even with the threats this close. SEMIVAN is he's clearly got the experience to know how to prioritize these threats. Dab now finishing up his full and total reset of meds, ammo, magazines. He's playing with A1. Level 4 ammo, an interesting choice for Armory, but plenty, obviously, up to this point. SEMIVAN now back into the fight. Broken arm. He's pushed all the way back into the corner, and most of those footsteps indicators that you see are from the guards inside bunker, and that door is not open. So he can ignore most of that, but it's the player or two outside that he's worried about. Dab now still managing ammo. He's had a couple of interruptions to his reset and reload situation here. SEMIVAN slowly turning this corner. Able to easily line up those shots, but a shooter in the distance, break that arm once again. And with this lower level surgery kit now, he's losing total health in every one of those limbs every time he does surgery. So his likelihood of getting broken arms gets worse and worse over the course of this game with that specific surgery kit. Dab now back out in the open and back in the fight with a broken arm of his own. He's got to time every single heal here because this far into the open, he could be in a gunfight at any distance at any moment. Semi now still in his spot there in the corner, able to finally loot these players. Coming up on 20 minutes left in this round on Armory. He's going to be constantly pushed from outside by these guards, and the absolutely essential thing for him will be to limit the damage he allows these guards to do to him, because in any fight with a player, it's going to be dicey. And so if he's not stuck healing the entire time from the AI damage, he'll be in much better shape to keep this momentum up. Semi in peace for a moment, gets the opportunity to loot. Takes out the player at distance. A broken arm again, like we said, the likelihood of broken arms in a gunfight increases over time as he has to do that surgery with those specific kits. SEMIVAN's decision-making here is top tier. He's able to get all of his heals in. He's able to keep all of his mags full enough to kind of guarantee that he's going to have enough for each gunfight. Continues to push to make sure that there's absolutely no one left outside of Armory Bunker right now. Not the best gear or loot on these players yet, but he has not yet gone all the way into bunker. And with a 320,000 coin difference between these players after our first two rounds, any single game on Armory could completely flip this scoreboard, or if Dab is able to be successful here, could put him nearly out of reach. SEMIVAN looking like he is not going to make a push into bunker. Still plenty of loot opportunities on this map for him. And really, a lot of the value that he has in his backpack and in his vest right now is the fact that he's got all of that ammo off of those players. There's an expectation that the ammo these players bring into Armory is higher level than on the previous maps today. And so the value in that ammo, it's one of the most efficient value for the space items in addition to keys that you can find on the map here in Arena Breakout. SEMIVAN on the extract now. Able to get off of this map very quickly in less than 9 minutes. Let's look at his loot value here. 115,000. Not a very big game, but plenty of time to get back in here. 16 minutes and 46 seconds left in this round. And SEMIVAN, one more round here to close the distance with Dab. That difference is less than 250,000 coin at this point. But look at what Dab has in the backpack. There is an entire team dead on this high ground. And if Dab's able to actually get all of this off the map, he will have no reason whatsoever to push through bunker. You see him excited about what's in this vest right now. That's not only a ton of high value items and grenades, but it's also a high value vest by itself. And he sees the level 6 and level 5 armor everywhere with this group. Now he's got to distinguish, you know, he might want to drop some. Yep, he's going to drop some of those grenades, pick up the full stock with all of the attachments, and only take up 2 slots there. FAL with an expensive optic on it. Those GS2s are 17 to 20,000 a piece. Dab with all of the loot he needs to really extend this lead. No way for him to have enough space for all of this. But with all of these options, he can really max out the value of every single spot in his inventory.
Focus on getting this out of here, chat, and I think we win.
He may be right with that assumption. He's definitely still got to get this off the map, which is no small task on Armory. Now, here's the thing. This will determine the winner of this competition. There is less than 15 minutes left in this Armory round. Dab has the loot right now to put himself potentially out of reach of SEMIVAN. But if he spends the next 8 minutes trying to get off of this map and dies in the process, he will not have enough time for a full second game on Armory. And all SEMIVAN would have to do is get 250,000 out of his next game, and he takes the lead and wins this competition. SEMIVAN back into a game and looks to immediately get into the gunfight right now. M61 ammo in the FAL. High level ammo. And that FAL with its fire rate and capabilities.
Oh my gosh.
No grenades on Armory could be a serious problem for SEMIVAN right now. But all he has to do is get a couple of kills to fill that inventory with grenades from some of these cards.
Wait a second. I can use grenade in this map?
Dab now close to bunker. This area is dangerous, but he's dealing with it well, and he is doing everything he can to get to that extract. If he gets his inventory off of this map and banks all of that loot, he will be in a great spot on the scoreboard. Hundreds of thousands of coin and loot value right now. He's going to drop the backpack here. He knows he's in for the sprint of his life here to activate this extraction. Sets himself up to make sure there is zero chance that he will run out of stamina as he goes to activate this extraction. Easy headshots on that guard. SEMIVAN in the middle of the map right now. And the urgency and the speed of movement in his gameplay has significantly ratcheted up. I think that's the result of just how many reps he has on Armory and how comfortable SEMIVAN is on this map. SEMIVAN sprinting across the map right now. Dab now returning to his extraction point. And he is less than 2 minutes away from putting this match potentially out of reach.
Let's freaking go.
He is not out of this map yet.
Oh my gosh, stop it, bro.
SEMIVAN taking shots, but staying in the loot screen. Plenty of opportunity for loot here. But if Dab successfully extracts, there's no telling on whether or not this is enough to close the gap. I don't think it is, though. Searching everything right now for loot value. SEMIVAN is in a good spot, but I'm not sure that he has enough time to close the distance with Dab. Dab 40 seconds away from the extraction that could potentially win him this event.
They're probably going to go mine extract. They're probably saying, thank you for pulling that switch for me, brother. Yo, this match was for all the people that say I'm a noob.
Left.
That can't play solo v squad. Just want to remind them. Anytime anybody ever, just remind them of this chat. 8 seconds and we're out of here.
Dab's got a message for him.
We got pretty lucky on national television. Mom, I'm famous.
Dab.
Oh, dude.
22 minutes in game.
Let's go. $611,000. That puts me over a mil, right? For the whole tourney? Oh my gosh, dude.
Dab is correct.
Oh my freaking
He is going to be at 1,078,000 as his total on the scoreboard. And with 8 minutes and 16 seconds left on the overall timer, I don't know if there's enough time for SEMIVAN to close that kind of gap. SEMIVAN with the stems in and sprinting across the map on Armory right now. He sees the extract. shots at the extraction point, and SEMIVAN goes down to an extraction camper. Dies to the rattiest of them all in Arena Breakout. SEMIVAN frustrated. There is no more frustrating outcome in this game than someone in the prone camping the extract. And SEMIVAN, with what was potentially his last chance at closing the gap and competing, leveraging his experience in Armory to potentially flip the scoreboard with that extraction camper. I'm not sure that there's any possibility here. He does have 6.5 minutes, so he's quickly re-gearing and looking to get back in to another Armory game. But with the chances of him being able to do in about 5.5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, what he needs to close the gap that is over 800,000 now. SEMIVAN now down to just over 6 minutes left. At this point, it is not looking like Dab is going to be hopping right back into a game. I mean, he doesn't look particularly rushed at this point. Needs to repair that armor significantly if he wants to. You know, we've seen Golden Lions found on these live events previously. Dab now 0 to hero. Pistol only.
0 to hero, boys. Yeah, wish me luck. Hashtag luck in the comment sections. We got 5.5 minutes left. Imagine I just get like I wipe a whole squad with my 5.7 and then go to no backpack extract.
Clear on his plan.
Fix your armor? No, I'm gonna drop it. Everybody
Dab looking to put on a show, going in with armor that is almost completely broken. A pistol and a headset.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm so pumped right now. Winning.
SEMIVAN is now back in the game in an all-out sprint for a last-minute chance. Easy gunfights on these guards. I don't know that he's going to have enough time to really exploit or go into bunker with any depth. You can see how concentrated he is right now as he's really pushing for the fastest pace possible. Well under 5 minutes left here as he gets into the Armory game. A secret document may be SEMIVAN's only hope. Dab now in a gunfight.
I didn't mean it.
No limbs broken, but moving quickly with just a pistol. Only using the composite case for heals. Dab having to be careful right now because he only has that pistol, trying to put on a bit of a show, maybe win the lottery with the right kill on the right person.
Let me cook, chat. Let me cook.
Grabs a rig and a backpack as well as a T85. Not what I'd want on Armory, but it's better than he had. SEMIVAN now into the bunker. To the red room immediately. Goes straight to activate the extraction. Now again, we've got these players delayed on their streams. And so while we sync pretty well here, he might have enough time to extract if this is affected by the delay, where obviously we've got players all over the world here, and so there could potentially be enough lag for that for this extraction to count. Imagine a secret document at this point in the game. Dab, broken arm, and he goes down, taking the ultimate chance. With only a pistol, doesn't work out for him. I don't think I've ever seen a player move through Armory this quickly and hit all of these loot areas this quickly. No love on that safe. Doesn't even wait to see what the rest of it is.
No chance.
He sees another ring. Dab has seen plenty of those throughout this competition. SEMIVAN moving through bunker with reckless abandon, but without a secret document. Not sure that he even has a chance here. He's giving it every possible chance to, he's giving himself a chance to win by looting this quickly through bunker, winning all of these gunfights, stopping for nothing. I don't know if I've ever seen momentum in an Arena Breakout game like this. He needs over 800,000. One shot, one kill from SEMIVAN. This skill in the gunfight is pretty incredible. He's got less than a minute on this extract. Our countdown timer is gone to 0, but if there's any lag here, it could possibly count for him. And we're going to stay with him here through the last 40 seconds of this extraction timer. We're going to see what the potential loot value is, but it does not look like it is going to be anywhere close to enough. He moves off the extraction to reload. This is without a doubt one of the fastest Armory runs I've ever seen, but without having gotten a secret document or multiple high-value keys. He was subject to the RNG, and that likelihood is low enough that he just doesn't have enough to close that gap. And he may very well have missed his extraction there, knowing that final outcome. And Dab, with one of the most successful solo Armory games we've ever seen here, pulls off 611,000 coin with his extraction after all of those gunfights. The guy was shooting A1 ammo. It's not like he was over-geared for the map, if that's even possible on Armory. Able to manage all of those threats, had to fully reset his ammo with half of his body broken at one point in the game, but he successfully got off of the map and widened the gap too far for SEMIVAN to close, despite the fact that SEMIVAN had one of the most high momentum Armory games we've ever seen in this event. At the end, in his desperate attempt to get lucky with a secret document or crazy key value, unable to do it, which means Dab is our winner here. We're going to see a recap. We're going to see the official score for the event as well as some highlights, and we will get a chance to talk to Dab after this win. This is our score for the Armory round. Dab able to extend that lead, extend the margin. 1 extraction, 611,000. SEMIVAN going for the quick extraction early in the round, able to put some points on the board there, but not enough for it to make a difference in the overall final score. Dab putting on a show today in solo Armory, showing us how it's done. Potentially one of the only players we've seen so far that actually increases his overall storage value in one of these events. To be able to keep that kind of pace up and get that loot off the map is pretty remarkable. We saw Dab here in the game. No problem in the gunfight. SEMIVAN going down early, and Dab just bulldozes his way in to bunker. At this point, he was low on health and low on ammo, but the threats kept coming. He had to find himself an opportunity to reset. Beautiful headshots around the corner for Dab. SEMIVAN owned that Armory run, but without fully looting bunker, was unable to get loot value enough to really make a difference here. But SEMIVAN picking up the momentum, picking up the pace, and really showing you how to very quickly move through this map.
We got pretty lucky on national
And
television.
Dab,
Mom, I'm
after
famous.
all of those gunfights, a 22.5-minute game, 20 eliminations on Armory, only performs 7 searches. Clearly a PvP focused run for him. SEMIVAN with the absolute heartbreak on that extraction. Remember the name, he's an extraction camper, and SEMIVAN falling to that, but with a crazy high momentum game to finish out this Armory round. Unfortunately for SEMIVAN, not enough to get the win. Overall score, we've got Dab plays as our winner, 1,079,005 coin in total value. SEMIVAN with 258,559 in total value. Dab pulling away at the end there with an impressive 600k plus in the solo Armory run. Dab plays our winner. We're going to get him in here for an interview. Dab
What's
with
up,
the
Mod?
big win, beats the 1 million mark. That was an insane Armory run, man. How did you handle all of those gunfights, and how were you able to reset with meds and ammo there?
Okay, so every time I get this thought in my head that like when I'm sitting there healing, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get shot, I'm gonna get shot, I'm gonna get shot. And surprisingly today, it didn't come true like it always does. So I have no idea how that Armory run went so smoothly, bro. And when I saw those guys up on the hill, when I was sitting down in the shooting range, I saw a pixel move on my screen, and I zoomed in, and it was a guy laying on a body trying to loot with a homie like overwatching him. So also just the fact that I saw that pixel move was luck too. They had the drop on me 10 times over.
Yeah, that one team there on the high ground made the entire run so high value. I mean, 611,000 for an Armory run. Is
Yeah.
that your best ever solo Armory game?
Best ever solo Armory, yes. Best ever Armory, no. But solo, yes. I definitely have to go back and screen record that for a YouTube video.
Yeah, having the best game ever live here on the stream, live in the event is awesome. But yeah, talk to us about how you like managed Farm and Valley, and after Farm and Valley you had the lead, but did you think that Armory was going to be anybody's game? Was that kind of the plan?
I actually thought Armory is where Simi was gonna excel, to be honest. But the farm run again, I got lucky because, I played it a little bit slow, kind of played Armory or farm like a rat, not gonna lie. And then I walked up on that one guy when I scoped in and saw that he was wearing a full set of level 6. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the ticket right here. Again, just crazy luck that there was a level 6 guy for me to kind of eat up his loot. Valley didn't go so well. You know, I predicted that in the beginning that Valley wasn't going to go so well, but I just grabbed what I could and got out with at least one successful run, so I didn't get a big goose egg for Valley.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That momentum in the gunfight was awesome. And despite your potential ratty behavior on farm, you were not the biggest rat of the day, as SEMIVAN was dropped by an extraction camper rat on Armory in one of those final games. How'd it go with the F-57 armor, no helmet, that final run? Did you have any success there? Or yeah.
After my first fight with it, I started to second guess myself because I bought like 10 of them ready to go for this, and I was like, wait, did I just buy 10 of the wrong gun? But it turned out to do all right.
And so I got one more question for you. And clearly, winner of today's event, big success on Armory. Give us a tip for getting into Armory quickly and being successful on that map.
Okay, so Armory is probably about 50% luck that if you want to get inside the Armory quickly, you have to either get the hill spawn next to the broken wall or the red door spawn. And I mean, that's like I think it's like a 2 in 10 chance that you're going to get that. But if you don't get that spawn, play it safe. Like as you saw, I spawned red door. I hit that and then I played it safe. So, or wait, how did that match go? Where did I spawn? Dude, it's such a blur. Where did I spawn on that match? I played 2.
Yeah, that spawn point, like if you can spawn very, very close to bunker, I think that's a huge advantage on that map.
But basically
and
spawning
farther
closest.
away, it's just a dicey movement.
Trying to remember where I spawned now. It's such a blur after all that fighting.
Yeah, 20 eliminations on that map is that's a heck of an Armory run. It's basically a constant gunfight. But yeah, well, hey, congratulations on the win, kind of setting the standard for what solo Armory should look like there. And we were all sitting on the edge of our seats there at the end with the extraction, because the extraction on Armory is still so dicey. So well done.
Oh man, somebody could have pushed me and thrown nades and it would have been all over. I was gonna ask, has anybody on this format got over 1 million in loot out of the three 30-minute heats yet, or is that a new record I just set?
We'd have to check the tapes, but your name is absolutely in the conversation with that 1 million. I'm still waiting to see somebody pull off some crazy 2.5 million, but in this solo format, it looks like it's just too dicey in the gunfight, and 1 million is a heck of a final outcome, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks for jumping in for the interview. Dab Nation is in the chat in force right now. So again, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining us.
Yo, thanks for having me. And again, my name's Dab Plays, and you guys can follow me on YouTube or pretty much any platform you guys can find me on. So, yo, big shout out to Arena Breakout for having me today.
Yeah, go do it. Follow Dab Plays on YouTube. Maybe find out what it takes to have some of that skill to be able to pull off an Armory run like that. All right, that's awesome. Dab Plays coming away with the win with a remarkable score of over 1 million coin, and that's 90 minutes of gameplay. Plenty of deaths in there with the aggressive gameplay that you saw. And as a solo player, those gunfights are pretty dicey. So, yeah, if you enjoyed us here today, if you're not in Arena Breakout yet, you got to get on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the game, get in the game, and see what these lobbies are like. When I first started playing this game, it was deaths all the time, but you quickly figure out that map knowledge and understanding, as well as starting to understand the levels of ammo and armor, will really move you quickly towards that success. And maybe you can pull off 1 million in loot value in just a couple hours, like we saw Dab do today. So yeah, and in our future streams, you've got more of those CD keys coming, more of those codes, always an opportunity to pick up a bundle on the show here, more of the Golden Lions Legion later on this month. And everyone is excited for season 2 of Arena Breakout coming out here in October. Thank you to the production team. Thanks to Arena Breakout. I've never seen a game that is so focused on engaging the community with these kinds of events every single week, building that list of creators and that group of people that bring all of those videos to you on a regular basis on how to get better at this game, the most tactically realistic mobile shooter that I've ever played and that I think exists. So again, I'm Mod6. I'll be with you again here next weekend. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the hype in the chat. And we'll see you on the next Golden Lion Legions event. Thanks for joining us.